Hello, beautiful people and fellow whiners, and welcome to another episode of A Little Something to Whine About with your hosts, as always, Siobhan Camille
and Tae Michelle,
where we whine, WINE, about life, love, relationships, personal growth, beauty, and more, because sometimes you just need to whine a little. So grab a glass of your favorite red, whites, or rosé and join us on the couch.
That word was growth. I don't know what growth was.
I said growth. I didn't say growth?
No.
Okay, let's start this again.
No, it's fine.
Like, look, I said, okay, well, growth. Damn it. I don't want to come back sounding all illiterate. Look, I was on vacation, people.
Look, it's okay. I feel like you were on vacation. I need a vacation. I need my voice to come back. It's okay. Look, we all get a little tongue tied sometimes. I do it all the time. So for me, it was just funny because I was like, yep, that worked. Well, hello everyone. Yes, I am hoarse. Very hoarse, and I am hoarse because I am that mother at your children's sporting events that you hear over the entire crowd. It's just that way. My children have started to play kickball, and that's majority any all except for the teenagers. So that is 4 to 5 games of get over here, stop, run, kick it, and the whole 9 yards. So with that, the side effect to that is you have no voice for the rest of the week. But I gotta yell for my babies. Beautiful people, I would like to say this week we are updating our wine about our lovely fitness journeys. What's been going on with this quote unquote fitness thing? But of course, before we get into all of that, we have to tell you about the wines that we are whining this evening. So Siobhan, tell us what you're whining.
Okay, so today, as we talk about journey to fitness, I don't think this fits into fitness anywhere. But it was what my mom had in her refrigerator since I am home in New York right now, and I was not buying wine. I just wasn't gonna do it. So I have a Gewürztraminer. A Gewürztraminer.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, I would have butchered that, but you got it.
By Wagner Vineyards. It is a 2020 out of the Finger Lakes of New York. I've never actually had a Gewürztraminer, so we're going to see how this goes. It is a white. It can be dry, sweet, or semi-sweet, I have learned.
I have learned a new wine because I have never even heard of a Gewürztraminer.
Gewürztraminer, yes. It is German, and it's whatever. This is a dry one because my mom likes dry wine, so... Yeah,
I'm praying for you.
Heaven help me. Like the back of the bottle, where it gives you the little rating, dry to sweet, it is all the way at the dry side, ladies and gentlemen. Like, can't get no drier. So we're gonna see what this is about.
Oh Lord. Okay, well, popping grapes for you.
Definitely.
I'm not really popping a grape too much. I am drinking an oldie but goodie, something that us ladies love to drink. I'll say ladies and gentlemen because I'm not going to be, exclusive. I am drinking a good old fashioned mimosa. The type of champagne that I have in this mimosa is by P. Secco, like that's the name of the company. It's the letter P, Secco, and it's a Prosecco, and I have it mixed with orange juice. Yes. And I have it mixed with orange juice, of course, to make the mimosa. So I chose this because in actuality on this journey to fitness, I'm not supposed to have any alcohol. But I figure if I mix a little orange juice, that makes it okay.
Oh, wow.
So before we get into it, a quick fun fact. my fun wine fact for today is about corks. A lot of people want to know, like, what's the difference between corks? Are they all synthetic? Are they natural corks? So apparently the natural flora cork are your most natural corks. And they're intended for wine storage for up to 12 years. Those corks, they come from only 3 specific type of trees. And they are harvested once every 9 years. That's the fun fact. I didn't know that. So they're harvested for once every 9 years, and then they're dried for up to 2 or more years. So just a little info about corks. They only come from 3 types of trees, and the most natural cork is the floral cork. And so it's harvested 9 and dried up for up to 2 years. That's a long time to make this little itty bitty cork that's going to be popped and thrown in the trash. I feel like corks need to be recycled. Do they recycle corks?
I think you can recycle corks, but don't get me to lying. But we'll find out. We'll find that out.
So now let's jump right into it. Let's update. Siobhan, give us an update. I know we spoke a few months ago about jumping into fitness, changing lifestyles in reference to, becoming more healthy, what that actually looks like. So I know you were telling us what works for you in reference to the apps that help you, and you do the whole meditation thing. Come on, so give it to us. Give it to us. What's your update?
Okay, yeah. So this is the Journey to Fitness check-in. So if you want to see the original, the first episode of this, it aired on June 2nd. So it was like a month and a half ago. So it's in the archives. Right now, I will say that I finished. So I still have the yoga app on my phone, but I do not use it as much. I don't have the meditation one on my phone because apparently it was a trial and you only get like 14, 21 days free. Then they want you to pay for it or something. No. But I will say this for fitness. So my birthday was last week. So it was July 18th. Yay for me. And I went to the Adirondack Mountains in New York for 10 days by myself, dolo, because I can.
Amen.
And while I was up there, I did hiking. I hiked 3 mountains. I did the Ampersand, but I didn't finish. I did St. Regis, but I didn't finish. And that was because I probably could have finished the St. Regis mountain. I was pressed for time because I was supposed to go sailing that afternoon, and I didn't think I would have enough time. I wound up not sailing that afternoon because there was no wind. Had I known that, I would have finished the mountain, but whatever. And then I hiked the Mead and Beckman Mountain, which was it was the shortest distance, but it was rough because it was like a half mile of a steep incline.
Oh, wow.
I also accidentally looped the top of it twice because there's like a left and a right split, but it really doesn't tell you that going right will take you down. If you go left, you will just loop the top one more time. So whatever. It wasn't really.
Translation, you needed a mountain GPS.
Well, and I have All Trails. For anybody that knows what All Trails is, it's an app. It's a hiking app, and they give you the trails. But it gets kind of questionable when you're up in the mountains because lack of service. Plus, it wasn't really
not making it.
It wasn't really clear, but I got down. It's fine. I'm
glad.
While I was there, I did jet skiing. I went sailing. Yeah, I actually went jet skiing on my actual birthday. So that was fun. I did horseback riding. I walked around an old camp called Santoni Camp after we did a horse. It was like a 2-hour or hour and a half. It was an hour and a half horse-drawn carriage ride out there because you cannot get to this camp with a car really. Like it's a hassle. And then we walked around, had lunch out there. That was nice. Did a tour of the camp. Then did the horse wagon back. It was great. But I say that because I learned from my birthday the importance of the varieties of fitness. And fitness is not just physical. Exercise. It's not just exercise. I needed that mentally. I also did yoga while I was out there. I got like a foot massage, like a whole situation. And I'm gonna put my it was a package deal. You could do yoga at first, and then they did like an hour and a half foot massage with the scrub. I did Dead Sea salt and a sea scrub. It was great. So I'm gonna put my whole little birthday journey on the website under the blog. So if you just go to a little something to whineabout.com, you will find it there. But yeah, I had a great time. But like I say, what I realized is it's not just about physical. It's not just about exercise. It is about mental. Like just taking time for yourself and being at peace and turning off social media. Now, I didn't complete black it out because run the podcast, I had to do some updates on Instagram.
Right.
But turning it all off, I really don't like social media anyway. I made no secrets of that in the social media episode, but I really needed that time. And I think to me, I learned the importance of fitness mentally, spiritually, and physically. Like all of that has to work together. Like you can't, it's not a one or another. It's the trifecta. It is the Holy Grail, the Father, Son, the Holy Spirit, all of that. And you got to make that happen.
3-in-1.
It is the 3-in-1, all of that. So I will say my fitness journey got better in the mountains. I didn't eat as much. I think I only ate once a day because actually working out, I wasn't as hungry, ironically.
But you stay hydrated though.
Yeah, like I had my water canteen on me at all times. But being back, being back halfway because I'm still in New York. I'll be in Maryland this weekend, but I'm still trying to stay active and, hike. And like where I live here, there are hills everywhere. Where I live in Maryland, everything is flat. It's a whole nother game. Walking hills. I wasn't prepared for the mountains, but I will write my whole thing, like I said, on the website, a little something to whine about.com. You can see my birthday blog and I'll talk about all the stuff I did.
A wonderful journey. I'm so glad that you enjoyed yourself. I know on the episode where we talked about birthdays, holidays, and special occasions, this birthday for you was a really big one because you're taking it back and owning it for yourself and the whole 9 yards. So to hear that you actually enjoyed yourself and you did some self-care, you did some mental fitness, the physical fitness, the spiritual fitness, that you kind of got into it all. So I'm just excited and I'm happy for you that you actually got to do what you wanted to do and celebrate it the way that you wanted to. And that also fits into the whole personal growth and recognizing when we need those things. So I'm just glad. I'm excited. I can't wait for you to come back because I miss my sister.
I'm not going to pretend that I missed the work. Like, I appreciate being back at my job.
I was talking about my sister, Daddy.
No, I get that. But I'm just saying, like, look. Oh, I got so much stuff I still need to catch up on.
Yeah. Well, that's the other side of vacationing or choosing a vacation, where you go, I'm going to pick this time to cut everything off, realizing reality, I have to come back. So that in itself, you need a vacation for your return from vacation.
I feel like that's definitely going to be a need. But what's going on? So I know offline, I will say that the last time you and I talked, you were thinking about doing the bodybuilding program because you felt like you plateaued. So tell us about the plateau and the bodybuilding.
Wow. Yes, actually, the program that I absolutely love is called Fit Church. In case those of you did not watch the previous episode of our Journey to Fitness, it's called Fit Church. Absolutely wonderful program. They have evolved. The program has its weight loss side, and it has just now started its bodybuilding side, which is pretty much focused more on toning, gaining muscle, and all of that good stuff. And yes, I actually did do it. I actually did. I did enter into the bodybuilding program. Not that I'm trying to be any sorts of types of a bodybuilder in any way, shape, or form. Let's get that straight right now. One, I don't want to. I just mentally know I'm not there. for that. Two, my husband has already told me he's not attracted to that. So I know the real bodybuilder, like that whole cut up strain contest.
I mean, that's
thing,
a lifestyle right there.
That's a whole lifestyle that I'm telling you that's not for me. However, this program, it is focused more on building up your strength, which is what building up your body. So this side of the program is extremely different. When I say extremely different, just about everything is weighted. Our cardio has definitely decreased, but the weights have increased. This is extremely intense program.
Do you feel like you've gotten more out of this? Or let's do this. How long have you been doing this? Like, so your other program.
So everything is 21 days.
Okay.
So everything is 21 days on the weight loss side and the bodybuilding side. I completed 4 phases of the weight loss side. I don't know if there are phases for the bodybuilding side because, again, this is just the beginning of this. And we haven't been told that this is phase 1, this is phase 2. I think it's just literally a bodybuilding side. I think this is still a developing program for him. Mm-hmm. But he had enough to at least start it. So I feel like I'm in one of the beginner groups of the bodybuilding side.
So this is like you're in like his pilot group to get this.
Yeah, kind of. We're not the only group. I think there's about maybe 1 or 2, and I could be wrong. It could be 5 or 6, but I feel like it's other groups. He didn't put everybody together because that would be a lot of people. But it's different. The food is different. You are able to eat a lot more on this side of the building side, which at first I was like, "Ooh, yay!" However, you still have to weigh in every morning. And after losing 25 pounds and knowing that I plateaued in the 170s when my actual goal, my bottom goal is 155. I want to stay in between 155 and 160. So to know that I plateaued in the 170s, it was frustrating for me ending phase 4 and not even breaking 169. So that was frustrating for me. And I was thinking, maybe your body's like, okay, you really doing this. You've plateaued. You haven't got anywhere. I will say I have been in the bodybuilding phase. I'm literally in the middle. It is Wednesday. We're in the middle of week 2. I have about maybe 10 days left. I'm on day 10, I think. Day 10 or 11. So I'm literally like right in the middle. And I still have not broke 170s.
Wow.
Yes. So what I did do, because he did tell us that we should be toning more and we should be seeing more cuts. So what I did do that I did not do in the weight loss side was I did measurements of my waist, my hips. I did measurements this time so that I don't get so discouraged looking at the scale, because my scale is now gone up. And I'm like, wait a minute. Because it messes with you, especially when you go straight from weight loss to bodybuilding. Like no gap, no rest. So my mental is still kind of stuck on the losing weight. And I know muscle weighs more than fat, but it's like that number and your psyche is...
Because you've already trained yourself to be looking for weight loss. So when you're looking at a scale and the number is up or down, I remember seeing this woman on Instagram actually, and she posted a picture of herself side by side, like her before her working out and her after her working out. And before she was like 140. And then after she was actually 160. But she was cut.
It was a completely different. And that's why I haven't quit, to be honest with you, because it's some days where I'm like in the morning, the other morning, I had jumped on my scale and I was like 172. I was so shocked. I was like, oh my God, I'm actually almost in 169. Like, oh my goodness. And I'm doing this and yay. I hopped on my scale this morning and my scale said 178.
Oh, wow. But muscle is heavy. Like muscle is denser than fat. Like it's because it's solid, it's compacted.
I get that. 172, 178.
I understand.
The jump.
No, yeah, I get that.
I was like, what in the world is going on? I was livid, and had to go to work. Livid and had to still do my check-ins. Livid and like bump it. I just want chocolate, candy, and everything else. I don't care. Like, livid. Like, what am I doing? This is dumb. This is stupid. I don't want to do this. Then I go to get dressed for work and my pants don't fit.
Too small or too big?
Too big.
Mm-hmm.
So it's, for me, this is really playing on my mental. I'm gonna be honest. This is really playing on my mental because I'm like, it's crazy because the workouts are intense. Like they're repetitious, they're fast, they're boom, 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 boom. They're weighted and I'm doing it. And I'm like, what in the world? Like right now, we did so many curls and so many arm planks and arm things yesterday that for me to literally hold my hands like I'm reading a book, what is this? Triceps burns. So I'm literally at work moving empty boxes. And I'm like, this burns, like my arms burn. And the funny thing is, he's like, yeah, we work core. I'm like, I feel nothing in my core. I don't know why.
That's the crazy part.
I feel nothing in my core.
When you target, yeah, but that's the crazy part. When you target like one area, and I've done that too, where it's like, this is a core exercise. And I'm like, I must not be doing this right because I feel it in my butt. I don't feel anything in my core. You know what I mean?
In my core.
I don't feel what you're telling me.
Yeah, but that's how so planks, I never feel in my core. I might feel them in my core while I'm doing them, but I never feel them. And I tell people, I said, I don't see how planks work. I don't.
I never feel planks in my core ever. And I can't do a full push-up plank because of my wrist. So I always have to do the forearms. And I always feel it. Yeah, I always feel it in my shoulders. I don't feel it in my ass.
I feel it nowhere else.
If I intentionally push my shoulders down, I'll then feel it in my back because I'm literally using my back to hold me, but I don't feel it in my core.
I don't feel it in my core. So I'm like, yeah. And then he did some side planks and some other stuff. I was like, during the workout, while we're recording, because we do have to record ourselves doing this workout, doing our workouts, that's how we're held accountable. I'm like, the whole time, I don't know if I'm doing this right, but I'm doing it. Like, so.
But I think that's also a matter of the muscles you've already built up. Because remember when we were cheering and like Kia and all of that, and I would be like, let's do abs. I honestly did not feel abs. I just like the movement. But I could do a whole bunch of crunches. I could do planks. I could do all this stuff. And you don't feel it. I feel like I get it. Because even when I was doing something and Marshall said one time, he's like, oh, you got cuts. And I'm like, well, I've always had like cuts.
I've always had cuts. Even when I was 200 pounds, you could literally see the cuts of my ass. That was never my issue. I just needed the fat to not be.
And I think that's it though, is like when it comes to abs, I think, I don't know if it's like you get permanent abs, so you don't, but I feel like that's why you don't feel your core is because your core is still, for me from ballet, always having to be lifted up. And lifted up.
Like you have to lift from, and that's why I feel like it'll take a lot. Now, I will say like when I do when I do my lower ab work where I have to like do like the low, like these, that's when I feel my core more when I have to work my legs.
Yes. If I have to get my legs up, do coccyx balance, which is what it's called in Horton, where you get your shins parallel to the ceiling and you're literally up your IV or whatever. Yes, I feel abs, but just regular crunches and planks.
It takes a lot for me to feel crunches, meaning I have to do like a high number before I go, ooh, okay, I feel a little something, but I feel it during the workout, 9 times out of 10, I don't feel it after. They say, well, a couple of days after. If I feel it, it'll be during my workout. It won't be after. And that's just for my stomach. But my arms, I could feel these a week from now. I'll be honest. And I don't know if it's because my upper body strength is trash or not. But that's the same thing with my legs. It'll be certain movements. I'll be like, oh, okay. But more so with this, like you said, I've been feeling it in my butt. Like, I don't need, I'm okay with it feeling getting a little higher. I mean, it already sits high, but I'm okay with it sitting a little higher because I had on some pants the other day and it might have just been my pants. I was like, why my butt look flat and then just round at the bottom? Like, that looks horrible. But digression, sorry. So this program is extremely different, and it's hard because, so the hardest part of this program, outside of the workouts, the hardest part of this program is we have to eat a minimum of 2,300 calories. So after shrinking my stomach and being on this specific regimen of food, because it's not a diet, it's literally so much food that we were able to eat on the weight loss side, but it was still so much food that we weren't. But now that we are now able to eat, and I'm like, how am I going to get 2,300 calories eating what I've been eating? Because literally my stomach isn't big enough for me to consume that. So I had to ask questions, and so it's a little bit more intense in reference to me paying attention to exactly what I'm eating. I hate calorie counting. I had to get another app so that it'll help me with that. It's intense. I don't know how I feel about it yet. Like I said, this one is, where the other ones are mental, oh my God, your number's not going down. You know what direction you want your numbers to go.
Right.
This one is I still want my numbers to go down, but I don't know what I'm doing.
Your focus has to be a little different because, again, when you're looking for weight loss, that's the goal. When you're looking for toning, it's not really about the scale. It's more about measurements. That's how you will see it, because you're not going to see, because, again, muscle is denser, it's heavier. So stuff is compacting, but it's heavy. It's like an anchor. Everything is tight in this anchor, but it's going to get you down. That's what it's going to be. Yeah. And I know, I didn't count calories, and the calorie counting app I still have it on my phone. I just haven't used it in a month. And like I say, in the Adirondacks, I really was only eating one meal. And that was because I was up by 7:30 every day. And I was
I would have been asleep.
I was asleep. No, but I was asleep by maybe 11 because my days were so full. So most of the time I'm getting up and I'm out on a trail or doing jet skiing. I think I had to do by 9 or 10. Sailing was 10. The latest I was doing my activity was 10. So because I didn't want to be on the trails when there's super a whole lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
I'm also, so I'm trying to do it early enough that I'm giving myself the time to finish as well.
Uh-huh.
So if I'm doing, St. Regis was the first mountain I did, and that was on a Saturday. And I think it took me 2 hours to get up and down. I did 4.4 miles in 2 hours, which, let me tell you, I did not think that was possible.
Why?
Because it's a hill. That's really what it was about.
Okay.
It wasn't the fact that it's I can do a mile in 15, 18, 20 minutes. Depending on if I'm walking quickly or if I'm just being all lax.
No, I get what you're saying. I'm trying to math in my head with my miles.
But basically, I did 4 miles at the St. Regis. I did 4 miles at Ampersand, and I did about 2.5 to 3, I think, was Beckman Mead, which was just up and down. And I did that whole mountain. The reason I didn't get through, like I say, St. Regis, I didn't get through because of timing. Mm-hmm. Ampersand, I didn't get through because the last half mile, first of all, this thing was intense. And the whole round trip of this thing, I think, was 6 miles. I probably could have done this. Because it was 3 up, 3 down, about. But and I did like I did like 2 up and 2 down. So I did like 4.4. The reason I couldn't do it is because I got to the base, the last half mile or so is all rocks. It's all rocks up. And I knew this going in it. And but by the time I got there, so I've already now been hiking for a good hour 15. Okay. It has taken me an hour 15 to crawl. And this is like when you're talking about feeling stuff in your butt. I'm hiking. Like, do you know they do stair climbers in the gym? That ain't got nothing to do with what I was doing. Like, it's got nothing on what I was doing. Like a stair climber, that was cute. That's cute. Like I could probably do a stair climber now. This is nice. This is cute. Because no, it was like
a monster. Okay.
Man, I was literally like pushing and pushing, but I didn't really feel it in my thighs or my legs. I felt it more in my chest because I'm like, yo, I'm tired. Like that's what did it. And I had to push through past being tired to the point where after a while I was just putting one foot in front of the other. I ran into so many people with their dogs or couples. I was up in the Adirondacks. It's very Snow White. So I was like the only Black person I saw for a long time. That doesn't bother me. I'm just gonna put that out there. And I say that because so with ampersand, there was a white couple, middle age, coming down. They had hiking sticks. Now I probably could have made it to the top if I had hiking sticks. Like I would recommend anybody, if you're gonna do ampersand mountain in the Adirondacks, get you some hiking sticks unless you just, hike for breakfast and that's your everyday routine. Then
not breakfast.
Look, if that's your lifestyle, then you're fine. If you one of the mountain goat challenge people that just is everywhere, you think you're a mountain goat in this world and you just jump in rocks and mountains and hills,
girl, you're
fine. Right. But if you are like me and you are a beginner hiker, first of all, that probably isn't where you should start, St. Regis or ampersand, because I knew no better. But if you choose to start there, get you some hiking sticks. So this lady, so the husband had no hiking sticks. The woman had a hiking stick. She was coming down. I was like, how far am I from the top? And they were like, oh, only about a mile. And I was like, yo, I really don't know if I'm gonna make it. There was no shame in my game at this point. Absolutely none. Okay. After hour 15.
You've already done more than what I would do.
I'm tired. After an hour and some shit, I'm tired. So I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna make it. And she was like, I mean, I'll say this. You can get to the rocks. The last half mile, it's only a half mile, but it's rocks. It's all rock climbing up. And I was just like, okay. She was like, yeah, it's a half mile. It took us 40 minutes. Michelle, I was like, let me tell you, in my mind, in that moment, I was like, absolutely not. Absolutely not. I'm gonna get as close as I can to the bottom of that thing. But I can tell you right now that how I feel, I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna be able to. This was the other thing. I'm gonna tell you 100% the other part that screwed me up about Ampersand Mountain. I went the wrong way at first. So no, it's not clear. So there's a highway in the middle, right? On, let's say, the right side. Yeah, it's so you're pulling off the park because you're in the mountains, okay? On the left side, the path goes to a lake, and it's a half a mile to the lake and a half a mile back. So that's 1 mile. And the only reason I know this is so when I walked up, I was walking through the parking lot, and they're like off the road parking lot. So it's not even like a big parking lot. Most people are actually parked along the street. But this other white couple, again, this white up there, okay, was like, it was this guy, and they were in their car, and he was like, so the mountain's on the north side. Is that what this is? And she was like, yeah, we were going west, so this has to be the north. I said, well, I went down a little bit, but I'm not sure. She's like, okay, well, that should be it. I said, great. So I walk my tail all the way down. I get to a lake. I get to the lake and I see people camping. That's another big thing that's up there. I really don't do camping. I do not. Okay. But there was another white couple camping. And so I asked, and I was like, do you know how to get to the top of the mountain? And they were like, she was like, ampersand? And I was like, yeah. She was like, the trailhead for ampersand is actually on the other side of the highway. And I was like, oh. And she was like, yeah. And I was like, okay. Nope. So I was like, all right. And I said, well, there are 2 people behind me, so I guess I'll let them know. So I'm leaving out. I at halfway back, run into the original white couple in the van. And I'm like, yeah, I just ran into some people down at the lake. And actually the trailhead for the Ampersand Mountain is on the other side. Oh, it's on it's across the street. Okay. So I had already done a mile.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So I knew when this other lady with the white lady with the poles is telling me it's going to be a 14-minute half-mile hike up some rocks, that I was absolutely not going to be able to do it. Because I told her, I said, yo, I went to the lake. She's like, yeah, our friend Betty told us to beware of doing that because a lot of people make that mistake. I was like, yeah, I'm not going to.
Okay, well, Betty, why you didn't put out the memo? Like, you ain't print some papers. Like, no.
Well, the husband was like, yeah, I saw it on the trail map, but I don't have the trail map. I was going off my phone.
I need you to find a visitor center.
Listen, and it wasn't clear. It wasn't. I didn't look. That was my bad. I didn't look at all trails completely. I guess I didn't read it right because it wasn't no street, whatever. Long story short, the point is, I hiked this bad boy, but I didn't make it to the top because I'd already done a mile. Had I not done the mile, I may have at least tried the rocks.
Yeah, because you would have had more energy.
Exactly.
But look, and that just gives you a reason to go back.
Man, and start at the right side.
Start at the right side. And finish, and enjoy it. I don't know if I'm about that hiking life. The hiking life. I told you I'm Poe. Remember on Kung Fu Panda? On Kung Fu Panda 2, that Bama saw the stairs. He was like, my worst enemy. And it did the widescreen shot stairs. I was like, that's my brother. Because that's how I feel. Me and stairs, nope.
I don't mind stairs. And it's crazy because I call myself getting in shape for it by by walking 2 of the steep mountains over here by my mother's house, which actually did help me. But it's something different between going up, a paved road versus climbing over roots, sticks, trees, rocks, mud, everything else while you hiking, praying that you don't run across a bear.
You was practicing for so it's like track. You was practicing on the track for cross country.
Right. I was wrong. But I didn't have any other options here, man. So listen.
Look, I get it. Look, we all got to start somewhere. We all have to start somewhere.
But I didn't feel any of it in my legs or my butt. That's what I was going to say. That's why I brought it up because you would think hiking, like I should and feel this. I don't know what it is about these sprinter, dancer, thighs, butt area on me. I don't feel these things. Like, it takes a lot for me to feel the muscles in my legs. Like, ballet is one of the few things that does it, or like...
That's a benefit, yeah.
Yeah, I don't feel it.
Lunges. Lunges to the front and reverse lunges are the only things I feel in my legs. Squats, I feel in my butt. I don't feel them in my legs unless I have to do like 500 of them.
Right? Yes, exactly.
But for the most part, lunges, and I really feel it more so because of my knees. More so than anything. It's not my thighs. It's literally like, your knee.
I feel my thighs if you're in a plank or a half plank and you have to lift your leg up.
Yes.
That's when I feel my legs.
We had to do that yesterday. Girl, my thighs, girl, you know how when you start trembling? My leg was going tremble. I was like, why my core not trembling though? Like,
no, I don't feel that in my core either.
I would feel better or feel like I'm accomplishing something if my stomach was like a tremble versus my legs that's pointed, looks great, pointed toe in the air, kicking back. I'm like, yes, this looks awesome. However, my thighs are going shaking. I'm like, what is going on?
But what's crazy to me, even with that, when I do those, my legs, I swear my body and my mind are disconnected when it comes to working out.
I know mine's are.
Because my leg will be shaking, but mentally I'm like, but I'm not tired. I'm good. I'm good. Why are you shaking? I'm good. What are you doing?
Exactly. Mentally, I was like, yeah. But my legs are shaking and I'm like, yeah. And I'm like, what is
why are you shaking? What are you shaking for? Like, what is this?
Like, you happy. Like, what are you shooting? Oh my goodness. I'm so serious. It's so different. But I will say, doing this program or doing this part of this journey, I have noticed more so how my eating habits have changed. I don't eat it. I literally can't eat as much. Like I be wanting to, but I can't. Like it's a lot. Like Rob gave me, he gave me a cube because that's what it looked like to me. A cube of lamb, some asparagus that was so good, and he had some rice. I couldn't eat the rice. I ate everything else. So I'm like, I see the difference in my eating. My clothes, like I said, they fit. They still are loose. I don't feel like I'm gaining everything all the way back. I do feel like I have gained weight. I don't know if this is a positive thing or not. On the other hand, mommy wedding in September. So I'm like, I'm not trying to go up to 180.
Right, but if you're 180 and your measurements come down, then you're losing inches.
I mean, yeah, but
I mean, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. That sounds so enthusiastic. Yeah, but I had a goal in mind. And so this is what ticks me off a little bit, because a while back, I told my husband, I want to lift weights to lose weight. I don't want to do any cardio. I want to build to lose. Mm-hmm. Right? So that was my mindset. And he's like, no, you're going to have to do cardio. Everybody's like, cardio, cardio, cardio. I hate cardio. Ugh. So I was like, I don't want to do cardio. I just want to build to lose weight. So now I'm in this program and I'm like, what is going on? And we wanted to build to lose weight, but I'm not the girl. When I say this has not, when my body hurts and I'm like, ooh, where in the weight losing phase, it was like, oh my God, my body hurt. My body aches. It didn't hurt. It ached. I was hungry.
It's a different pain. It's a different kind of
pain. The pain is more so like, oh God, that hurts. But this to me is definitely more of messing up my mental. Like, I don't know. I literally feel like, girl, you don't know what you're doing. Like, for real. Like, I feel like, girl, you just all over the place. And it might also have something to do with the fact that my lifestyle has changed. When I started this program, I started going back to work.
Right. Like, that too.
So where before the weight loss program, I was at home. So I didn't have anything else, prioritized, like as far as having to do. So it's been a shift in that as well. So I feel like that might have something to do with my mental. I don't know. And that's how I feel about this update to this fitness is, I don't know what I'm doing, y'all.
I definitely don't. And I realized that for me, I realized it's easy for me to burn the excess fat quickly. I realized I haven't been able to get back down to 155 since I was really like calorie counting and not really working out, but basically, for lack of a better term, starving myself down, which isn't good. And it's not sustainable either.
Right.
But I realized when I decide, okay, you know what, I'm going to eat better and I'm going to work out a little bit. If I was at like 165, because at one point I got back up to 165, I can drop to 160 with no problems. Like 3 days, give me 3 days of eating right. The excess of whatever that is burns off. But I plateau around 158. Like for me to get under that or get down to, I think 150 is really my goal. Like I don't see me getting back to 130 anything, 140 anything. I think I would really have to start lifting weights. And my goal is to there's a weight set, the rectangular weights. I like those. Those are what happened. Those are what they had at the gym I used to go to. And I really appreciated those. Right now, Marshall and I share weights, but it's very difficult because he's got the old school round ones where you have to twist it off. And so he doesn't switch them out in the morning before he leaves. I'm not doing it because I don't like dealing with them. No,
Rob has some, and it was funny when I started my program and they introduced weights, like on the weight loss side. It was very little weights, but they introduced weights. And my husband was like, oh yeah, I have dumbbells. And I was like, yeah, I'm not going through taking off and putting on and twisting in. And I said, go get me my own. I will be fine. We go to Five and Below. We go to Walmart. go get me my own. And that's what we had to do. I was like, because I'm not.
Yeah, the barbell set I want is like 500 because it's click and they're rectangle. So if I put it down, it's not going to roll because it's a square. It's flat on all sides. And I know like that's what we used to use and the grips are good. I don't have to worry about this thing spinning or coming off. I really don't. Yeah. I do not like his weights in the least bit. I don't like those. So I'm just going to have to invest in my own at some point. But I noticed like if I really started picking up weights, I could probably lose more. My hesitation with that is because I am the type of body shape where
as soon as you start lifting, you gonna look strong. And that's the other part that I said, Rob, when I was smaller, I was cut. Like I had, matter of fact, my goal picture. Girl, I'm so cut up in that. When I say I freaking love, this is one of my best, well, not my best shots, but one of my favorite shots of me. I remember when they showed me the shot, I was like, that's my body? Oh, shit. But that's why I was like, yeah, the bodybuilding thing, not for me. I like no judgment to the other person. I like looking soft.
I like looking soft and feminine, and I'm not going to apologize for that.
And Janet Jackson is my boo thing. Like, I just don't want her stomach.
Listen, I love me some Angela Bassett and the Tina Turner, but I don't want those arms. Like, my boobs are not big enough for me to have those arms. They're not. I don't want that. No.
But I had the arms. I can do the arms. I just don't want that stomach.
I don't want the big arms, but that's what I'm saying. Like for me, if I really get to pushing and doing weights again, then if I really start working out again and really doing weights and everything else, then my arms are going to be cut and they're going to look, for lack of a better term, masculine. Like I get swole and I don't want to get swole. Like, and my boobs, I always do it by my arm to boob ratio needs to be a certain thing. Like no. I don't, not even when they're up, but when I put them down, like I don't want my
this
arms
wave
to be
back
big
thing. Girl, I would kill to have my arms back if it would get rid of this wave back. And for those who don't know, the wave back is when you put your arm down and you wave your arm and the bottom part of your arm wave back at you.
I mean, that's triceps. That's tricep workouts.
Right. But you see that? That's
I got you.
Like, that's what I'm saying. So if the cut is still there, even in my fat, it's just on the opposite side, it's trash. It's trash. Okay.
Yeah, mine isn't as bad. But I just want to tone it.
It's horrible. I want to get rid of it. Like, I want to get rid of it. And I'm trying, but it's... So fitness is costly. It is creating a lifestyle. But I'll be honest, fitness is mentally draining. To constantly be aware of what you're putting in your body. Are you exercising enough? What have you done? What aren't you doing? What not to neglect? What to focus on? How to focus on? If you do this, that is geared more this way. That to me is the exhausting part of fitness that I feel like most people try to avoid. And I completely understand why. However, on the other side of that, the health benefits from pushing through those things are better for you in the long run. So
for me, I think it has to be enjoyable. I worked out so much from the jet skis, which don't actually take as much upper body as like a 4-wheel bike, because I did a 4-wheel bike in Jamaica and that thing, to shift that, that's all upper body moving that thing. But the jet ski on water is nicer. Sailing was relaxing. Hiking, I will say this, I realized hiking especially the hills, released a lot of tension in my lower back. And I think it's because I had to engage so much of my lower core to get up the hills, like with stair climbers, that I didn't realize until I was doing elevated bridges. So I had my like legs on the bed and I was doing bridges and my lower back said, bah. And I've been waiting for that for a long time, people, a long time. And it finally cracked open. And I realized since I haven't been hiking as much, I felt tension in my back, my lower back again last night. And so for me, even though I don't feel it when I didn't feel anything hiking, I really felt no muscle engagement hiking, which probably sounds crazy because I know I was burning calories. I know I was working. I know muscles were engaged. I felt the stretch in my Achilles from having to walk on that incline and then walking down. First of all, walking down a steep hill is not easier than walking up. It's mentally trickier. It's trickier. I don't even understand how that's possible. You gotta try not to
fall on your face.
Exactly. But I had so much fun that before I realized it, the day was done. I think that's another part of what I'm realizing is at work is I'm always ready to eat because I'm usually in the house around food, or I'm bored. And so there's nothing, I can't really go anywhere. When I was in the mountains, I did not think about food until about 3:00. Like, and then it was kind of like, oh, I didn't eat today. I really should eat before it gets too late. And that's why I ate. It became that, like I ate between 2 and 6 just because if I could, because again, some stuff, I really try to schedule most of my stuff in the mornings. So that I was free in the afternoon to just kind of walk around the towns and stuff. But I hiked all my mountains in the morning. I did my jet ski in the morning, but my jet ski was 3.5 hours. So I wasn't even done with that till 1:30. I basically was good, but to me, it's just, I have to enjoy it. And it's a matter of, if I'm not enjoying the workout, then I'm probably not going to be motivated. What I did learn is I actually enjoy hiking. Like the push to do something, to get to the top of a mountain, to have that goal, to see that view pushes me. And so I'm keeping the Alls Trails app, which I had before I deleted it. I'm getting it again. I have it again now. So I'll try to use it more to find places to hike that are inclined in Maryland. I think because coming from an athletic background, it's going to take more to stay healthy because your body goes into muscle memory where it's like you are an athlete doing cheerleading, doing dance, running, this, that, and third. Like, so you at this point, even in your 30s, doing bare minimum walking 2 miles on a flat surface is not going to do it. Well, I was doing 2 miles because there's really, like, where I was walking was 2 miles. 2 miles, 3 miles on a flat surface did nothing. I got more, I'm sure, and I didn't have a scale, but I'm sure like I felt better and healthier after doing St. Regis. Doing St. Regis after the first 1.5 miles of hiking, I felt myself go, maybe I should stop. But mentally being like, no, I got to keep pushing one foot in front of the other. By the time, then I took the break on Sunday. When I went back on Monday to hike Ampersand, it was ready. Hard, but I was mentally ready. And physically, my body was like, oh, we're back to doing this, like high intensity, high requirement, high level, I guess I will say. I know now for me to actually work out and see any results, I can't just do bare minimum stuff. My body's like, I mean, that's cute, but what is that? I have to do hiking or something. And so, and also because I spent $190 on hiking boots. So
look, and that's my point. Like, fitness is pricey. Okay. You're talking about weight sets, specific types of boots. I have had to purchase insoles for my shoe because I wore my shoes down. Like, and we're talking about like the foam shoe. Like, I wore it down working out during those phases. So I had to go buy inserts for my shoes. Like, it's simple things that you don't think about. I have never taken so many Epsom salt, and I hate soaking. I soak more. Like, fitness cost. And that's not to mention the food, the water, like all of that stuff costs. So to kind of come back and kind of bring this some it up in reference to fitness, I would say three things. One, the hardest thing is to trust the process. Trusting the process is the most difficult because trusting the process now engages your mental.
Yeah. Don't get discouraged.
Don't get discouraged. And which brings me to my second point is be reasonable. We are in a world where everything is supposed to be so instant, which is why they have the flat tummy teas and the such and such this and the surgeries and the wraps and the pills and all of that. Be reasonable. Fitness already costs so much, but let's be reasonable. And I'm not shunning the teas and all of that. If that works for you, great. But that's an instant thing, and it probably won't last. So trust. That goes back to trusting the process. So it is a process that you have to trust. You do have to be reasonable. And the last thing is make it your own. Make it fun. Like Siobhan said, it has to be fun for her. It has to be something that she enjoys. For me, I know it has to be something that I'm not always thinking about, but I'm doing, which is why I want to start getting into certain classes. But those would be my personal 3 points in reference to fitness as I continue these next 11 to 12 days of this bodybuilding process. And sometimes I have to remind myself of this. So for me, this episode is a good reminder for me to trust the process, be reasonable, and have fun.
And with that, I also add, as far as be reasonable, be kind to yourself.
Oh, yes.
Because I think we, especially as women, if you're a woman listening to this, are so hard on ourselves and judge ourselves so harshly. And we're constantly told we're in competition with each other in magazines and social media and everything else. Be kind to yourself. You may go from, 150 to 160 one week because something changed. Maybe something happened in your life that you couldn't be on what you were before. But don't let that setback of your goals discourage you from, like Michelle said in the first one, trusting the process, because that's still part of that process. If you lost it, then it's the process of getting it back. Because unless you really stayed your whole life in the gym from like 5 to 35 or to 45, you're going to have to go up and down. Other things, kids, jobs, significant others, take responsibility, take priority, take focus. And as long as you can bring it back to yourself and your health, that's what counts. So be gentle with yourself.
All right. And now that the glasses are empty, it's time for us to do our wine ratings. So Siobhan, tell me about your German wine.
Yes, my Gewürztraminer. So
yeah.
It says delicate and dry with floral aromatic notes. This wine's natural spiciness is accented by ripe melon, white grapefruit, and a long, full finish. Enjoy with Asian cuisine, fish, or chicken dishes.
You don't like floral.
You know what? But hold on, because I actually really like this.
Oh, wow.
You and I are both surprised because I tasted no florals in this.
Okay.
I think the melon, the grapefruit, and I don't know what a long full finish is, but we'll put that in there, is what I tasted. Like, it reminded me of a dry Riesling. Just not as light. So I guess that's the full part. Not as light as a dry Riesling. But it reminded me of that. And I actually was surprised because I don't like dry. But this was actually really good. And when I was drinking it for its dryness, I always do my wine with cheese because I'm a cheese lover. And that's just who I am.
She's cheesy.
I am cheesy. But a nice Munster or like a Gouda. I don't personally like smoked Gouda, but I think that will work with this. A softer type cheese that's fuller, not nutty, would go well with this. I
nutty cheese. What the heck?
There's nutty cheeses. Okay.
Okay.
Anyway, yes. I would recommend that with this. I actually did really like this, and I'm very surprised. It's not something I would drink all the time because, again, not a dry girl. But for a dry, this was very good. So I will give this a 3.5, actually.
Okay, German wine, because I am not going to butcher your name.
Gewürztraminer. Yes, it was good.
You heard the
Gewürztraminer dry. That was good.
That was my attempt. Pardon my ignorance, but that's not where I am. German is not. Nope. For my mimosa, girl, I was about to say Moscato. Girl, I'm trying to tell you, it's the muscles. I'm gonna blame it on my fitness. For my mimosa, using Prosecco's Prosecco. Say that 5 times fast. This was now my pour was 4 ounces for those who bartend 4 counts. Prosecco, and it was half and half, 4 counts orange juice. That Prosecco drowned that orange juice out so bad.
Oh, Lord.
Like, you taste the orange juice, but that's it. You are literally drinking champagne, which to me makes this an awesome mimosa. The color, it still has that nice bright orange color in it. I could see myself enjoying this for a brunch with my homies. I do feel that if this was bottomless, I might be a little done. It was very potent.
Mm-hmm.
Potent, yes. I was trying to make, girl, my brain is shutting down on me, okay? But it wasn't bad. It had a nice balance of sweet and bubbly and champagne, and you still taste, for those who are concerned with tasting the alcohol, like it was, to me, this Prosecco was really, really good. I've had some very, for lack of better words, cheap Proseccos where you literally just taste the orange juice. But this was a decent Prosecco. I definitely like it. So Prosecco, I'm going to give your Prosecco a 4.5.
Oh, wow.
Yes, and that's a good rating for someone who does not drink champagnes. And I didn't drink it by itself, so that would strictly be for the mimosa. I think this is a nice Prosecco for a mimosa. And on that note, that brings us to another end of another wonderful episode of A Little Something to Wine About with your hosts, Tae Michelle
and Siobhan Camille.
Be sure to join us each and every Wednesday for a brand new episode. Is fitness a priority in your life? Let us know on Instagram at A Little Something to Wine About. Again, that's A Little Something, the number 2, Wine About. And as always,
there's nothing wrong with a little wine.
Toodles.